Let's take a couple of moments and we'll walk through the audio settings on the DEH-X6900BT when the system is set up in its network mode. Now please note that if you're looking for the audio settings when the system is in its standard mode, that's a separate video. This is the audio settings for the network mode. Even though your particular in-dash receiver may or may not have a CD slot across the top like this one, the on-screen and button operation is identical for the following Pioneer models: MVH-X580BS, DEH-X6800BS, DEH-X6900BT, DEH-X7800BHS, DEH-X8800BHS. So from any source here, I'm going to press in on the volume control, and I want to roll along here until I find the audio menu. Here's audio, and we'll press enter. The first thing we see are the EQ settings, and for more information about the EQ settings, be sure to check out the EQ settings video. So we'll go back and we'll roll over to the next setting, which is our balance control, and press enter, and here we can balance from right to left. When you're done making adjustments there, you can go back. And we'll roll over to the next setting, which is our subwoofer output. Now please note, there is no fader control when you are in the network mode because all speakers are considered to be front speakers when used in network mode. So no fade front to back control. Next up is our subwoofer output, which is right now switched on. We can also choose to switch it off here. And if we roll over to the next setting, we go directly to speaker level. Now let me go back to subwoofer. And if I switch subwoofer on, now when I roll over to the next setting, you'll find that that next setting is our subwoofer phase control, normal or reverse phase. And be sure to check both of these settings in your vehicle. You may find that one sounds a lot better than the other. We'll leave the subwoofer output on its reverse phase for right now and roll over to the next setting, which is our speaker level control. And this is a very, very powerful part of the system. We'll press enter here. So in our network mode, we have high output for the left speaker, high output for the right speaker. Then we have mid-range output for the left speaker, mid-range output for the right speaker, and we have subwoofer output. So let's roll back around here and we'll adjust the high output for the left speaker and press enter. And here we can boost or cut the output for that particular speaker. So you have an independent volume control for each speaker in the system. Now, for best audio quality, you want to keep these at 0 or lower. And if they are all set at 0 or lower, you'll be able to turn up your master volume control without fear of distortion. So instead of boosting up the output of one particular speaker, try lowering the outputs of other speakers around it to compensate for that one. We can make those same adjustments for the other speakers in the system. The same as the subwoofer output here. When you're done making adjustments to the speaker levels, we'll go back and roll over to our next setting, which is our crossover settings, and each speaker in this system also has a crossover. So we'll press enter here. Here are the high crossovers for the high output. Then we have the mid-range high pass filter. Then we have the mid-range low pass filter. Then we have the subwoofer output. So let's open each one of these and take a look. Let's start with the high output. The high output is a high pass filter. And if we press enter here, we can adjust the crossover point of the high pass filter. And we have a very wide variety of crossover points to choose from. 1.25K, 1.6, 2 kilohertz, 2.5, 3.15, 4, 5 kilohertz, 6.3, 8, 10, 12.5. So a very wide variety of crossover points to choose from. Here I'm going to choose 5 kilohertz as my crossover point for my high pass filter on my high output. And we'll press enter, and we can choose from 6 12, 18, or 24 dB per octave for the slope at any given crossover point. Now we'll go back, and I can make those same adjustments to my mid-range high-pass filter and my mid-range low-pass filter. So let's take a look at the high-pass filter first. We'll press enter. Right now that mid-range high-pass filter is switched off. If we roll over on the volume control, we can switch it on as a high-pass filter. And we have crossover points to choose from 25 hertz, 31.5, 40, 50, 63, 80, 100, 125, 160, 200, 250. So we can choose a crossover point for the high-pass filter, and right now we'll set that up at 80 hertz and press enter, and now I can choose a slope for the high-pass filter between 6, 12, 18, and 24 dB per octave. Then we'll go back and roll over to the next setting, which is the low-pass filter for the mid-range, and press enter here. I can switch that low-pass filter off if I want to pass it straight through, or we can set it up as a low-pass filter, and let's check our crossover points. Low-pass filter crossover points for the mid-range are 1.25 kilohertz, 1.6, 2, 2.5, 3.15, 4 kilohertz, 5 kilohertz, 6.3, 8, 10, and 12.5 kilohertz. So for right now, I'm going to set up my low-pass filter at, we'll say 5 kilohertz. And we'll press enter, and we have our options for the slope at 6, 12, 18, or 24 dB per octave at any given crossover point. And now we'll go back, and we'll make an adjustment to the subwoofer output crossovers. Right now it's a low-pass filter. We can switch that low-pass filter off if we want, or switch it on. And we can choose a crossover point for the low-pass filter from 25, 31.5, 40 hertz, 50, 63, 80, 100, 125, 160, 200, and 250 hertz. So for right now, I'm going to choose this crossover point at 63 hertz, and we'll press enter. A change to the slope is available here for the subwoofer output at 12, 18, 24, 30, or 36 dB per octave. And we'll go back. When you're done making adjustments to your crossovers, you can roll over to the next setting, which is the listening position. And right now, the listening position is switched off. So let me go back. So listening position right now, and it's switched off. If we roll over to the next setting, we go directly to Save Settings. Now let me go back to the listening position, and we'll open that. And right now it's switched off, but we can steer the listening position to the front left, the front right, or all front speakers, or background to off. Let's leave it at front left. So listening position is on and focused to the front left. Now we're going to go back, and with listening position switched on, our next setting is time alignment. And for more information about time alignment, be sure to check out the full time alignment video. Please note though, you only get time alignment if you have a listening position selected. Once you're done making your adjustments there, you can roll over and save your settings. Don't be afraid to whip out your phone and snap pictures of your screen at any time. You can also save your settings here and confirm yes, you wanted to save those settings. Now they're saved, and you can go back and make any adjustments that you want. If you make adjustments that you wind up not liking, that's fine, because the next setting is where we load the settings that we saved. Here we can load those sound settings, and the settings that we liked and had before are back into the system. Now let's roll over to the next setting, which is our bass boost, and we'll press enter here. Here we can add a little more bottom into the system or roll it back down to 0. And we can roll over to the next setting, which is our loudness control. Right now it's switched off. Loudness has settings of low, mid, and high, or off. We're going to leave loudness switched off for right now, and the loudness can help to compensate at low volumes for better audio quality. We'll roll over to the next setting, which is our auto level control. And auto level control can automatically help to compensate for volume changes between different types of recorded tracks and different sources. So right now the auto level control is switched off. We can switch it on to mode number 1 or mode number 2 to help even out the difference between sources and different types of audio tracks. Right now we'll leave that switched on to level number 1, and we'll go back. Let's roll over to the last setting, which is SLA, or our source level adjuster. And under source level adjuster, if I press enter here, I can make the particular source a little louder or a little quieter as compared to FM. So right now we're on the auxiliary source, and I can make the auxiliary source a little louder or a little quieter as compared to FM. You get an SLA, or source level adjuster, for all sources: CD, USB, auxiliary, Bluetooth audio, all compared to FM. If you're on the AM/FM radio source, you will not see the SLA option in the audio system. Let's roll over to the next setting, which is back around to our EQ settings. When you're done making your adjustments, you can press the band button to escape.